Okay, for this week, we're going to be building a chat bot, is what we're going to be doing. So let me get myself logged in here. The adhesive side has been a little slow lately. So if you're experiencing a little difficulties with that, it's not you, it's not your Chromebook. That's just how slow they're going. When you go to the modules there, it's going to show up towards the bottom at the end of lesson 3. And we'll talk a little bit about module 3 also, is that you should have gotten all the way through 310 as of last week. So chatbots and Amazon Lex is where we're going to be working with. As you go through this, I want you to take a look at all these, but you don't necessarily have to do them all. The only one I want you to actually do is to build a chatbot. That one I definitely want you to do. When it comes to quiz 2, we're not going to do that. I do want you to take a look at the milestones that are here, but we will be taking the Unit 3 exam, and then that'll be next week. And so, I mean, you will be responsible for this information that's on here. So I definitely want you to go through it. You should have at least looked at most of the stuff prior to this. But when we go to, let's get focused on the chatbots. We'll talk about the test next week. So chatbots, what do they do? These are typically those little bots that pop up while you're on a website. They've got quite a few examples here that show how they work. It's definitely not going to look like this, by the way. They got this little robot here. Yeah, that's great. That's not what a chatbot looks like, though. Chatbots don't look like that at all. They're just pop-ups that show up on the corner of your screen. Getting to Amazon Lex. This is the most complicated part of the whole activity. So there are pop-up blockers that will show up too. So if you're having trouble getting in, make sure you have that squared away. So to get to AWS Educate, here on the left-hand side, where it says AWS Educate, obviously, but there's a lot of steps. So once you click on AWS Educate, it's going to take you to a primary login screen, and your name should show up here. You may have to connect using your Google ID through the class. Let me know if you have any trouble getting in, because I don't control these logins, they do. I think most kids this week have been able to get logged in, but if you have trouble, just let me know. At the top right here, you'll see where it says AWS account. That's where you're going to go next. And then you're going to go to the AWS starter account. They give you a certain amount of credits on here to use, and they basically make you an Amazon Web Services user is what they do. Again, shows my account status, etc. And then the next thing on this is that you could look at all these things over here and get kind of lost, but where you really want to go is to the console. The console is where all the goodies are. So we'll take out the console here. As you take out the list in the console, you'll notice there's all kinds of services they have. The Elastic Beanstalk, Amazon Kendra, Amazon Fraud Detector, Amazon Lex is what we're looking for, Amazon Poly, Amazon Rekognition. All these things are things that Amazon Web Services does that you can use for whatever website you have, basically. There's all kinds of them. So as you go through these, and you may have heard of Athena before. I've not heard of Kinesis or some of these other ones that are here, but they have a lot of things that they've already built. And that's the great thing about programming, is that once you build something cool, you can just make it a plugin, so that way someone else can use it on their site. And in this case, we're going to be using Amazon Lex. Now, this is one way to get into it. The other way to get into it is just up here at the top. You can just type in Lex, and it will tell you the services that have that. So we're just going to go to regular old Amazon Lex here. When you get in, it tells you about building conversational interfaces using voice and text. We're only going to be doing the text one, is what we're going to do. We're not going to do speech recognition, although we could. There's a lot of information on this. There's a getting started guide. I would strongly recommend you go to that first, so that way you understand what in the world it is that you're doing. Setting up an account using the CLI. CLI stands for Command Line Interface. So when you see that, don't get intimidated. It just means that that's how they use to talk to this thing. It's not super deep in programming, so don't stress out about that. There's getting started with the console, getting started with their command line interface, versioning, using some of the functions, and then deploying. So for now, all we really want to do is to just kind of get you started with it. So let me go back to this and put you back on Lex, and then get started. When you get started here, there's different bots you can try out to take a look at. I would encourage you to try a sample first, so that way you know how they work before you actually build your custom bot. This explains what intents are, utterances, prompts, and then the final fulfillment means like whatever it was done. So what are you doing? Are you at Cane's Chicken at 1 in the morning and you're fulfilling an order? It could be done via speech. Yours is going to be done doing text, but if you think about the possibilities for this, I mean, do you really need someone there taking an order? Because Alexa, Siri, they're getting pretty good at understanding natural language right now. So technically, you could actually set one of these bots up to take orders, especially from somewhere like Cane's has a very simple menu. Same thing with In-N-Out Burgers. As simple as In-N-Out Burgers are, I mean, you can get a burger, fries, drink, or a shake. That's basically it. Except, do you want a double double or a single or a quad or animal style? And after a certain amount of time, you figure you could probably put all those into the bot so that way they could recognize those extra changes about the orders that come in. So if you're going to order from the secret menu, you could do that. Jamba Juice, another thing, walk up to a Jamba Juice. I mean, why is there someone there? You easily could walk up to a kiosk and tap in what it is that you wanted and get your drink. So it's getting there. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to go through and build a bot. I'm going to click on Custom Bot here just to show you how to get started. You put in the bot name, what language you're going to be in, probably English, what the output voice is going to be, and then as you go through and answer these things, there'll be a create button right down here. This is how you get started. As you get done with this, you're just going to have to show me this. I don't expect you to upload this. I think on Adhesive, it wants you to tell me about what your bot did, but I want to see these. So if you're virtual, then I want to see these on Monday of next week and see what it is that you got. And if I have you in class or an in-person person, then you can show me when we come to class next week, whatever day that is. So it should be a fun activity. It's probably a little hard, but you've got a whole week to work on it. So you've got plenty of time. Take it seriously, though, because this bot thing, kind of the thing of the future.